Play the sequence.
The fifth reagent is at your station.
Song man.
The first coup, it's soluble, so go.
Work carefully.
The first reagent can dissolve in water. So whichever ones can dissolve in water, that's not it, right? First coup.
Joshua's current time alive is limited, as you can see, he's on a kg.
The fastest gets a gift from China. So
Yeah, you got a gift from me.
I still get a gift from China.
note well, if it forms a clear solution, then it does dissolve in water. Please
Guys. Clear. Everybody clear. Charge to 500.
It was the red because it's in the bottle. The red in the bottle.
But Dwayne said that's how long. Dwayne said that's how long.
Save me.
1, 2, and sand. In order to filter the poison from Joshua's system, we have to figure out which one of these can essentially filter the poison. So whoever does this first. Anybody need a
Everyone clear. Charge to 500. You have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes.
Good day. I'm Joshua Francis, this year's President of Science. So today is your walkthrough of this lab assignment for our YouTube channel. Please follow in the description for more exciting science videos. To continue, today's lab was poison detection and analysis. Today we had to use something that's a little uncommon. It's called common sense. It's rare. So students today had to use common sense, basic analytics, to determine which was a poison among about 5 poisons. In a real life scenario, children or people who accidentally ingest too much medication, whether it's self-inflicted or otherwise, ingest too much medication which get into their system and becomes toxic to a point. The way we resolve this, or the way doctors sometimes resolve this problem in the hospitals or in various situations, or in this emergency situation that they've concocted, we're gonna use charcoal. Charcoal is a natural way of purifying materials. Like charcoal, this magical ingredient right here, insert picture, has the ability to purify some substances. You might see charcoal face cleanses, gets rid of impurities. That's really a magical ability of charcoal due to its molecular structure. So we're utilizing that impeccable ability to purify people from poisons, which is what happens in a hospital. Someone ingests too much of material before it gets assimilated into the body or intaken into the body completely through the intestines. Doctors, if they got it in time, would try to pump out the stomach using charcoal and other methods of extracting toxins. So this is what happened today, and that's what they had to figure out themselves. You could have been armed with the knowledge that charcoal is a good purifying agent. However, you might not have known that, so you would have had to have proven it with science. So you're presented in front of us here, if we can insert. We had oil paints, we had red food coloring, blue food coloring, fruit punch, and what was that final ingredient? Yes, golden butter. Yeah, we're low on funds. Please go fund me on our GoFundMe page. I'm just showing you, we don't have a GoFundMe page. But if you want to give a friendly donation, sure. So we had our golden butter. First, they were given the tip that the poison was soluble. In this scenario, I, an unsuspecting boy, drank a mysterious mixture which caused me to collapse in sickness. I was unaware what this toxin was, but they had to prevent me from dying. This toxin was 1, soluble. 2, it had no scent. 3, it has a specific color. They had to use common sense to find out the color of the material. First, you're armed with that it's insoluble. Therefore, it can be the golden butter that's melted, 1, and it can be the oil paint. It can be. It just wouldn't dissolve in water. Then you're presented with food coloring and fruit mix. Those all dissolve in water. So, which one is it? Which one is it? Then we look into our bottle. Our bottle is red. It's not blue, so it's between food coloring and your fruit punch. You're not sure. It could have been some sweet smelling toxin. Let's just call it fruit punch. Come on, everything in the lab's dangerous. It was a chemical with no scent. Therefore, it could not be the fruit punch. Therefore, through that deductive reasoning, it was the red food coloring. And they were supposed to find that out before I went into cardiac arrest for the 3rd time. I'm gonna go into cardiac arrest 3 times within the experiment, 1 every 15 minutes. At the 3rd time, I would go into cardiac arrest for the final time, and they would have lost. The team who comes up with the correct poison by that time and finds out the best way of purifying that poison, the charcoal, would win a prize from China. Deep dab, yeah. The next step, that was just part 1. That's the fun part of part 1. The second step is pretty easy. They have to deduce that, hey, charcoal is the one we're supposed to use. So we have some activated ground up charcoal that we placed into our conical flask. You pour through the colored solution through that mixture or through that charcoal, and it's supposed to come out clear. We presented the students with sand, I believe dirt, and they had to flour. And they had to determine which one purified out the food coloring and left us with the clear solution. That was the charcoal, my friend. So that was today's lab. It's important to know this because children every day sometimes eat paints or other toxic chemicals, and you need to be aware of how people treat or how people use everyday objects, and benign objects at that, to make science a reality, I think. Our hero of the day allows you to purify chemicals or remove toxins from water. Why? Charcoal allows you to extract toxins out of water because charcoal possesses many bonding sites for these, or binding sites for these compounds. So, charcoal, when things pass through it, like impurities, like oh my god, they're like so attracted, it's like they're attracted to the many sites of the charcoal. Kind of like if you were to, so these many attachment sites, you can visualize it, they're probably the rougher side of Velcro. When something soft or something strange passes by, it might hook onto those attachment sites in charcoal. And when those impurities attach themselves to the charcoal, they're usually filtered out. The solution. So that's the principle that we utilize today. The fact that charcoal has many binding sites and therefore it's able to pick up some toxins there. You know, that person who seems to have toxic people around them all the time. Insert animation here. There's no animation. Will there be animation? Well, that's all, folks. Did it have to be today, though? Take your time, take your time, take your time. No one's trying to take a YouTube video right now. So now that it's quiet, before our next truck comes.